Roger Jackson, he pleads not guilty to assaulting Psycho Stu. Roger Jackson, son of retired MMA legend Quentin Rampage Jackson, has pled not guilty to criminal charges stemming from an assault at a professional wrestling event in August in LA. Jackson, 25, pled not guilty at his arraignment hearing on Thursday. This is last Thursday now. 1 count of felony battery he was charged with that caused serious bodily harm, and 1 count of misdemeanor battery. Sentencing for felony battery calls for up to 4 years in state prison, but they've actually tacked on an addendum, basically the crime was so severe that he's actually facing up to 7 years in prison, plus 6 months.
What was the other charge they put on?
They're basically the same thing, felony battery and misdemeanor battery. It's the same damn thing. But basically, he could be looking up to 7.5 years if found guilty. Why would you plead not guilty to this, Dutch? Or at least, does everyone just plead not guilty at the first arraignment?
I think so. They just plead not guilty, and that gives them a starting point that he's not guilty. But they always do that. I don't care what kind of crime it is. Their first defense is not guilty. But, he can't, after you see the tape of this, there's no way that he could plead not guilty because he just beat the hell out of that guy. So there's going to have to be some kind of justice applied here. And I think they may be harder on the kid. I think they're going to be hard on anybody who does this, but they may be harder on him because of who he is. Because, if you take a celebrity, and a lot of people know who Rampage Jackson is, they take his son and his kid, and they give him a little slap on the wrist. They can't do that because that actually hurts the justice system in the long run. They would say, well, if that had been me, they'd have given me this, or they'd have given me that, or whatever. So I think he may get, I don't think he'll get the harshest sentence, but before they tack that addendum on later, the last charge, I think his top punishment could be 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's up to 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll get 5, maybe. That's what I think.
With
what do you think? What do you think? Now, it's California. You got to keep in mind, California.
They probably plead it down to 3 years, and he'll probably end up doing 12 months or something like that with good behavior. If you can be capable of good behavior.
With good behavior, because there's something wrong with that kid. Now, he may have, did you say he's the boxers used to have a name for it. It was called punch drunk. And I think he suffered some brain damage in those fights. I think.
He's had one fight and he lost. He's only had one fight. It'd be all training. Well, in fact, let me ask you this. I'm going to, because this will lead into my question for you, Dutch. What is his defense going to be? Because he cannot claim that he didn't know the difference between fake and real, because he's on his own camera talking about it. He can't say that it wasn't premeditated. He's premeditated for hours on end talking about it before he attacked him. So I was thinking, is his defense going to be that he didn't know what he was doing, in the sense that his father claimed that he'd suffered a concussion several days earlier in training? And then is he going to claim that, he suffered a second concussion from Stu with, whatever that was with the empty beer can? Do you think he's going to try and go down that route and say that he was not in his right frame of mind?
Well, they could say that, but the thing is, would you buy it?
Mm-mm. Yeah, but with pro wrestling, with a bunch of non-pro wrestling fans, we can assume that that can muddy the waters a lot. With a good defense, you never know.
Okay. I think his defense is, they told me to make it look good. Well, he did. He was following their instructions. Make it look good. And what makes it look good? Beating the hell out of the guy. That makes it look good. So nobody could say, oh, I'm going to use your word again. That's fake. No. He was knocking the hell out of that guy. And since he was in that the Ultimate Fighting whatever he was getting paid for some of those fights, I guess. He only had one, right?
Yeah, he had one. It wasn't in UFC. It was some low-level stuff, and once again, he lost.
Yeah, but a punch from the UFC is just like the punch on the street because both of them can knock you out. I think he's going to have a hard. I think he'll serve time over this. Let me say that.
In other news, Douglas Mallow, I think it was Douglas Mallow who said that, believed that Psycho Stu's wrestling career was probably done from the injuries sustained.
Well,
so that's a big shame.
I saw about 15 seconds of his wrestling skill.
I'm not saying it was good.
It needs to be over anyway.
But no, I'm not saying he was good, but he's probably not going to be able to do it ever again. Once again, this is the states bringing the charges, not Stu, because I hope he does bring a civil suit, whether it's against the school or Roger Jackson or
he needs to. But I wonder. I don't think he was inclined to sue at the beginning, right?
No, he didn't call the police.
Anybody did, huh?
He didn't call the police either. This has all been done without his.
Well, hard to call the police when you're unconscious.
Well, okay, right. He's not involved. He's not involved with the prosecution.
What if he called up and said, "Oh, I'm down here at this wrestling show, and I was just in a match, and this wrestler beat me up so bad. Could you come out here?" Do you think they would come out?
Probably not.
They would have to, wouldn't they?
Well, yeah. I mean, they did. I mean, if you called up claiming that you were currently knocked out, they might think it was a prank phone call.
Yeah, like Stu's calling, and he has gotten beaten up in a wrestling match, and he wants to come out here to this place where we are, and I want to charge this guy with assault. What do you think the police officer? They may come. I wonder how they would treat that. I'm gonna go find me a wrestling show this weekend, and I'm gonna do that.
And just lie in the middle of the ring and then call.
And tape it. And if you go to the ring and tell everybody, "Don't touch me. Don't touch me." That's what I've noticed about, they got all this thing going on with the ice here in the country here.
Mm-hmm.
But the key word is "don't touch me, don't touch me." And nobody is really, most people, when you say "don't touch me," they back off because I think they're afraid they're going to get sued, I guess. I don't know. But that's what I'd be saying. Don't touch me. And if somebody touches me, guess what I'm going to do? Sue them.